From both sides of the aisle while he was asked about his past comments. He said the bill will not be politicized either toward Republicans or Democrats.
Fox's David Spahn. President Trump is expected to set 25% tariffs on Canada tomorrow, but it's weighing if he would include oil.
We produce only 13 million barrels of oil a day. Barrels. Oil. And roughly 6 million barrels of oil, roughly 3.9 million barrels come from Canada. So if 25% tariffs apply to that Canadian crude oil, we're getting the warnings that the consumer could bear the burden. Analysts with TV Economics say it could lead to an immediate jump in U.S. gas prices by as much as 30 to 70 cents per gallon.
Fox Business's Lydia Hsu, WMAL, traffic and weather next.
As you age, your body's natural healing and rebuilding processes slow down. A collagen supplement from Ancient Nutrition can help you feel and look your best. Ancient Nutrition's mission is to create high-quality supplements that combine ancient wisdom and modern science. Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean supplement contains 10 types of collagen from 10 real food-based sources. Their formula is powered by clinically studied ingredients that promote fat loss, maintain a healthy weight, and build lean muscle. Collagen can also reduce joint discomfort and improve the growth of your skin, hair, and nails. Plus, Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean is delicious and easy to work into your daily routine by mixing it into your morning coffee, matcha, or your favorite smoothie. Right now, Ancient Nutrition is offering 25% off your first order when you go to ancientnutrition.com/take25. That's ancientnutrition.com/take25 for 25% off your first order.
No one knows music like Rolling Stone. Senior writer Brian Hyatt talks the biggest music news from the biggest stars.
Almost everyone is teaming up on Drake. It's like Drake versus the world. Yeah. You first met Prince, you were driving for him before you were drumming for him. That's cool. You kind of have to understand how he began. Why, really? That's where the money was. That's what still is. I'd say.
Rolling Stone music now. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Perfect. As a young adult at this point in your life, you probably have a lot of questions. Like, what's next? What does my future hold? The thing is, there's no right answer, only your answer. Your friendships, experiences, and purpose. It's all your choice. So what will you choose? As you make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring a fulfilling path into focus. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit todaysmilitary.com.
WMAL traffic from the Deep Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Slow traffic on 270 northbound between Old Georgetown Road and Falls Road, between 370 and Middlebrook Road, and then more delays on and off from 121 towards I-70. Northbound at Route 80 in Urbana, an accident there moved over to the left shoulder. 395 southbound before Duke Street, that crash is on the shoulder, but traffic is still slow from Glebe Road. And keep in mind in Chevy Chase, Connecticut Avenue northbound between Bradley Lane and 410, the water main break is affecting the roadway. Only one lane is getting through, so watch out for delays there. Now for GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm 7 forecast.
Rain will continue falling for several more hours, ending early night around 10 to 11 p.m. But with this latest wave, could get some winds gusting to 20 to 30 miles per hour. This evening's temperature is somewhere between 50 and 55. By morning Saturday, 42 to 48 degrees as we start clearing. And a high temperature on Saturday between 45 and 50 degrees with sunshine. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson and the Purple Alert Weather Center.
50 at Reagan National. I'm Maria Leaf on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Here, our number 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Wow, this plane was filled with fabulous people. The one that went down, pulls your heartstrings. These little kids, 11 and 14-year-old sisters, ice skaters, just little kids. Imagine being their parents, because they died too. Everybody's been identified. Was on the plane. Two of the three who were on the helicopter, as the family doesn't want the third revealed. I believe there were two men and a woman. When this was first reported, there was a collision with the airplane colliding into the helicopter. That's not what happened. The helicopter hit the airplane. He was almost on the ground. We don't know why. And we will find out. I think the most logical suggestion by these experts is that these helicopter pilots were focused on the other plane and they didn't get specific direction enough. And they didn't see the plane that they hit. I think that's about right. We'll see. Doesn't matter what I think anyway. But there are some things that are getting very troubling to me. And I mean, first of all, there was almost a helicopter plane incident the day before. They're understaffed. We're hiring 87,000 IRS agents under Biden, and air traffic controllers are understaffed. Does that make sense to anybody? And then we have this from the New York Post. Supervisor let air traffic controller leave shift early before DC plane collision. So something went on in that tower. Number one, you had an air traffic controller doing basically two jobs, which is normally done by one. Overseeing both the helicopter traffic and the plane traffic, and they're on two different frequencies, as I understand it. And now this, a supervisor at the Reagan National Airport Tower reportedly let an air traffic controller leave early from his shift shortly before Wednesday night's deadly collision over the Potomac. Apparently they do this after 9:30 p.m., though this accident occurred around 10 minutes before 9 p.m. As a result, a signal controller was monitoring both the airplanes and the helicopters flying in the heavily trafficked airspace. A source familiar with the investigation told NBC News. I'm sure these are politicians leaking. The National Transportation Safety Board really is a top-notch professional operation. They don't leak. So they're briefing some people and they're leaking. But we gain the information. Here it is. One controller should be in charge of helicopters while another watches over airplanes, according to the FAA. Well, that is a big deal. That is a huge screw-up. The FAA said in a preliminary report Thursday that one air traffic controller was doing the job of two people at the time of the devastating crash, noting that staffing in the tower was not normal for the time of day and volume of traffic. Not normal, meaning there were supposed to be two, I guess, and the supervisor let one go early, I guess. I'm just piecing together what's in the public record. One person typically handles both plane and helicopter duties at the Reagan National Tower after 9 p.m. when an air traffic begins to slow. The New York Times has reported a breakdown in communication with air traffic control could be an element behind the crash, which left 67 people dead. According to radio transmissions from Wednesday night, the lone controller warned the U.S. Army Black Hawk that it was getting too close to the CRJ, that type of plane, which the experienced helicopter pilot acknowledged. And maybe that's why he wound up in a higher level than he typically would. Experts believe the helicopter pilot may have maneuvered to avoid the wrong plane, a jet of the same model that was taking off farther away, the same model, since the controller never relayed the precise location of the American Airlines flight until it was too late. National Transportation Safety Board is investigating whether the helicopter was flying too high as well. You have some examples here that One college student who died in the plane crash was returning from his grandfather's funeral. But there's so many stories here. Husband whose wife texted him minutes before the fatal D.C. collision details the heartbreaking moment he learned about the doomed flight. A Long Island figure skater mourns D.C. plane crash victims, including baby skater's sister. Like a really bad nightmare, and I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. The chopper was flying at an altitude of 350 to 400 feet when it smashed into the plane, when it should have been flying at a maximum allowed altitude of 200 feet. That's a big problem. The airport's air traffic control facilities had been understaffed for years, with only 19 fully certified controlled on deck as of September 2023, according to the FAA. The facility should have had 30. As per the goal set by the FAA and Controllers Union, shortages led controllers to work 10-hour days and 6 days a week, so they're exhausted. In the Biden-era plan, the FAA said it is committed to maximum hiring for the next few years to recover from substantial underhiring due to COVID pandemic and lapse in the funding in 2019, but it didn't happen. And they were mightily focused on DEI, and actually beyond DEI, to be perfectly honest with you. Absolute mess. It's just, it's hard to stomach these things. You see these things, you think about your own family, you think about what these people are going through, you think about how many times you've been on an airplane. Many of us have been to that airport over and over and over again. And it's tough, for people to get their head around it. And we'll see how this breaks down. We'll keep an eye on this. We're not going to forget it. So we'll keep an eye on this. A lot of hubbub. Apparently, the president is going to be releasing some FBI agents. And he is very upset about it. I've noticed the media reporting is really grotesque. Everything Trump does is questioned. Everything Trump does is going to harm the economy. Everything Trump does has racial overtones. Everything that they haven't changed. They just haven't changed, and they're not going to change. They just are what they are. Over at Right Scoop, President Trump to fire tons, I don't know if they're tons, of FBI agents by the end of the day. He's set to fire FBI agents who worked on the investigations of J6ers and those that targeted him with criminal investigation. This according to CNN. Via Right Scoop, the Trump administration is set to expand a purge of career law enforcement affairs. See, they use this Soviet-style, communist-style language, purge. With dozens of FBI agents who worked on January 6th, U.S. attack, Capitol attack, and Trump-related investigations, as well as some supervisors being evaluated for possible removal as soon as the end of Friday, according to people briefed on the matter. The changes highlight how the new administration has moved quickly to deliver on President Trump's vow to strike back at the Justice Department and FBI that he claims have been weaponized against him. It's not a claim, it's a reality. And if people were, in fact, carrying out these weaponized attacks on him and others, why shouldn't they be removed? Trump has falsely accused agents of abuse in their court-ordered search of his Mar-a-Lago home and of their treatment of Capitol rioters. No, he hasn't falsely accused them of anything. He hasn't falsely accused them of anything. That warrant was outrageous. What was done in his home was outrageous. The thing was outrageous from top to bottom. It was almost Gestapo-like, in my opinion. Whether or not some master was involved in it, that is a lightweight judge, is irrelevant to me. And then over at Right Scoop, they write, seriously, CNN, Trump has falsely accused anyone of abuse. This administration did abuse him. And the deep state needs to be purged. That's exactly what he's doing because he can't trust them. I'm with him. I'm with Brian over at Right Scoop. Interim leaders at the Justice Department have spent the past week drawing up lists of people who work at the Bureau, were in disfavor with Trump for a variety of reasons. Agents and analysts have been warned by FBI leadership they may be asked to resign or face termination. Guess you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right, Mr. Producer? Agents who worked the investigation of Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents are those who investigated the roughly 1,600 rioters. They weren't all rioters. CNN is sick. Have been concerned that they could face retribution for doing work they were assigned to do. Well, some of them didn't do work they were assigned to do. Some of them were excited about doing this kind of work. We're excited about the pursuit of the former president. And as Brian at Right Scoop points out, if Trump can't trust those working for him because of reckless lawfare against him and the J6ers, I don't blame him one bit for giving them the axe. Bye-bye, deep staters. And my view is this. Why is it that if you were involved in this, you're just presumed not to have done anything wrong? Well, Mark, why is it presumed you have done something wrong? See, here's the thing. This is the typical kind of report you get from the media. What have they told us? Nothing. Are these just people assigned to cases, or are these people who are actively leading, making decisions, that sort of thing? Because the decisions they made were outrageous, absolutely outrageous. There aren't many heroes in this. There aren't many heroes in this. Yeah. And so I don't have a problem with this in the least. What that department put this nation through, what that department tried to do to our electoral process, people need to be held to account. They can always sue if they're fired and let chips fall where they may. Nothing stops them from suing. On the other hand, Donald Trump is serious about trying to get his hands around this government, not because he wants to control it personally, because it's out of control. I'll be right back.
What? News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbee, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV, or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Slow on traffic outbound on the John Hanson Highway between Kenilworth Avenue and the VW Parkway headed towards Landover Road. New York Avenue is slow outbound between the 3rd Street Tunnel and Florida Avenue. And watch for delays in the 3rd Street Tunnel northbound between D Street and New York Avenue. Baltimore Washington Parkway, some slowing through Riverdale between 410 and the Beltway. And your delays continue northbound from Greenbelt Road towards 197. And DC 295, some slowing northbound between the 11th Street Bridge and East Capitol Street, and delays continue northbound between Benning Road and Eastern Avenue. Southbound, some delays from Benning Road heading towards East Capitol Street. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Rain ends by midnight, lows in the upper 30s, mostly sunny tomorrow, highs in the mid 40s.
As you age, your body's natural healing and rebuilding processes slow down. A collagen supplement from Ancient Nutrition can help you feel and look your best. Ancient Nutrition's mission is to create high-quality supplements that combine ancient wisdom and modern science. Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean supplement contains 10 types of collagen from 10 real food-based sources. Their formula is powered by clinically studied ingredients that promote fat loss, maintain a healthy weight, and build lean muscle. Collagen can also reduce joint discomfort and improve the growth of your skin, hair, and nails. Plus, Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen advanced lean is delicious and easy to work into your daily routine by mixing it into your morning coffee, matcha, or your favorite smoothie. Right now, Ancient Nutrition is offering 25% off your first order when you go to ancientnutrition.com/take25. That's ancientnutrition.com/take25 for 25% off your first order.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companion for independent assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Every time I feel my baby kick, I sing. You don't understand. I never sing. I'm not good at singing. I'm the only person I know who's been booed off a karaoke stage. But that was before I was pregnant. Today, I'm a singer with a captive audience of one. She doesn't boo me. She never will.
We know how it feels. We're the March of Dimes. Find out how we can help you have a healthier baby at marchofdimesbaby.org.
Vince Culinary Show
Weekday afternoons, 3 to 6.
on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
These lawsuits are evidence of more lawfare. This is in an effort to thwart the election results, to thwart the policies of Trump, and they're free to bring these lawsuits. But let's not be confused about what's taking place here. This second judge, who's ruled like the first judge, putting a freeze on what President Trump's trying to do. And he's not trying to do it with the entire budget. He's trying to freeze grants and spending for 60 days that have been going to these left-wing NGOs that have promoted illegal immigration and these other front groups, these radical agenda things. It's very, very specific about what he's trying to do. It has nothing to do with all the rest that Schumer and the Democrats complain about. And the budget is so massive, the government's so big, the debt is beyond imagine. And this is a tiny little piece. He wants to freeze it. This judge was appointed by Obama. He's a left-wing Democrat. The other judge they got to was appointed by Reagan as part of a deal with Democrats from the state. A Democrat, liberal, old-time judge. So they just happen to keep getting these Democrat left-wing judges. And this is their plan. This is the lawfare part 2. How to thwart the American people. First, it was how to destroy our electoral process, how to destroy the candidate they might dare to challenge their agenda. Now it's let's destroy the candidate who won the presidency, who won a landslide election. Let's destroy his policy agenda. Let's block it every way we can. And so they form shop. Somehow they just managed to get these radical Democrat judges. Isn't it amazing? And again, we have an article on this judge without specifying who he is, Mr. Producer. Isn't that fascinating? It's the way it works with our media, such as it is. Be nice if we had a free media. You really would. But we clearly don't. We clearly do not. And you're not going to hear a lot about this. Our friends at Breitbart and elsewhere, Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries calls to fight Trump's agenda, quote, in the streets. Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, speaker in waiting, he thinks, is facing blowback and not by the media, not by his party, after calling for supporters to fight President Donald Trump's agenda, not only legislatively, but, quote, in the streets. Quote, right now, we're going to keep focused on the need to look out for everyday New Yorkers and everyday Americans who are under assault. Are you under assault by Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen? What has he done to assault you? Under assault. See the language he uses? He uses the language of the Democrat Party militia that we saw in 2020, that we've seen elsewhere, Obama's buddies from the 1960s and 70s. Because that's really who Hakeem Jeffries is. He's really a radical. He's managed to kind of keep it covered. No, you go back and look at his past. What do they want to do? They want to cut taxes for billionaire donors and wealthy corporations, of course, which is BS. I don't know. No taxes on tips seems to be for the average person to me. That's not acceptable. We're going to fight it legislatively. We're going to fight it in the courts. We're going to fight it in the street. I'm not done with this. I'll be right back.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News now. Mail news at 6:30. I'm Maria Leaf. 2 Coast Guard cutters are en route to help remove the fuselage of the plane that crashed on Wednesday in the Potomac. So far, the bodies of 41 of the 67 victims have been found. D.C. Fire Chief John Donnelly doesn't expect to be able to recover any more until the plane's fuselage is out of the water.
We're working as fast as we can. I'm not going to be able to give a timeline on that as there's a lot of unknowns.
He says the weather is slowing the search down a bit, but all the people on the water are used to working in all types of conditions. The president signing an executive order to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the federal government. But White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Black History Month will still be celebrated.
Looks forward to signing a proclamation celebrating Black History Month. I actually spoke with our great staff secretary. It's in the works of being approved, and it's going to be ready for the president's signature to signify the beginning of that tomorrow.
Mic drop. Hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridlin. It's raw.
Any single time that you left the wire, you can lose 4 guys.
It's unfiltered.
I've ever heard taking a hit in the shin, you want to pay it back.
It's tough talk from the top minds in their field.
Would I choose to not do our duty as military fighting men? No, I would not make that decision without question.
Mic drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of the tragedy.
On commercial flight 503042 crashed with a Black Hawk helicopter.
Sadly, there are no survivors. Mistake was made. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Praying for the victims and first responders.
Making sense of the news. With belts tightening
And many cutting back on spending. Why not spend more time with us?
If we do not address election integrity.
Because making sense of it all is always time well spent.
Up and say enough.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
No one knows music like Rolling Stone. Senior writer Brian Hyatt talks the biggest music news from the biggest stars.
Almost everyone is teaming up on Drake. It's like Drake versus the world. Yeah. You first met Prince, you were driving for him before you were drumming for him. That's correct.
You kind of have to understand how sleepy be. White radio. That's where the money was. That's what it still is. You know what I'm saying?
Rolling Stone music now. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish@wish.org.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Every time I feel my baby kick, I sing. You don't understand. I never sing. I'm not good at singing. I'm the only person I know who's been booed off a karaoke stage. But that was before I was pregnant. Today, I'm a singer with a captive audience of one. She doesn't boo me. She never will.
We know how it feels. We're the March of Dimes. Find out how we can help you have a healthier baby at marchofdimesbaby.org.
Keep focused on the need to look out for everyday New Yorkers and everyday Americans who are under assault by an extreme MAGA Republican agenda that is trying to cut taxes for billionaire donors and wealthy corporations. And then
So let's stop there. How's he cutting taxes for billionaire donors? First of all, the tax plan isn't even presented. They're still playing with it. But what happens is, you see, there's across the board taxes, and that would include billionaires and include people who don't earn that much money, because they don't play the Marxist class warfare stuff. So they're going to call it tax cuts for billionaires. If the Trump tax cuts of the past lapse, the average person, many of you, will see your taxes go up 45%. So they would blame Trump for that too, right? The truth is, the Democrats have no rational, workable plan. When it comes to cutting the budget, they don't want to cut it. When it comes to addressing the debt, they talk about raising taxes, which of course kills what? The creation of taxes, because you lose prosperity and growth and jobs. They're irrational. They have no plan. They have no plan for securing the border because they opened the border. They have no plan for fighting criminality because they opened the door to criminality. So you can go on and on and on. They're the arsonists. That's who they are. Go ahead.
Workers and working class Americans across the country with the bill. That's not acceptable. We are going to fight it legislatively. We are going to fight it in the courts. And we're going to fight it in the streets.
He makes that with emphasis, with real drama, Mr. Producer. We're going to fight it in the streets. Now, will he be confronted by any of the so-called news media? Will he be on any of their programs on Sunday where they'll confront him? How about Yvette Clarke, Democrat of New York? Cut 4, go.
The leader has given us directives on how we will stand together to make sure that we push back hard, and thwart the ideas and the plans that this administration has set forth. Clearly, they put forth a project.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Doesn't sound like to me that they want to work together in a bipartisan way, does it? No. They don't want to work in a bipartisan way. This is guerrilla warfare. Then we have Raphael Warnock, another left-wing nut job. Another left-wing nut job. Cut 5, go.
On January 6th, it was clear that in a violent way.
January 6th, they can't get over January 6th because they exploit it. Now, Warnock knows about 2020 the entire summer, doesn't he? About the Democrat Party militia in the streets, burning, pillaging, killing, stealing, destroying. Never crosses his lips. He knows about all the radicals. Basically, the Marxist terrorists and the so-called student movements and so forth in the 1960s and 70s. No. It's January 6th. Don't you understand? January 6th. Go ahead.
They were coming after the Republic. Coming after
You don't even
the
like the Republic. You don't even support the Republic. I love these guys on the left. Talk about the Constitution. They hate the Constitution. Talk about the Republic. They hate the Republic. That's the bottom line. These aren't small differences we have with the left. The left wants to destroy our society. That's it. They attack the society. They want to destroy the society. And they've been succeeding for a long time. Go ahead.
Transfer of power, including a kind of brutality visited upon police officers.
He's worried about police officers. That's a first. He's worried about police officers. So tell me, did he speak up against the entire police precinct that was burned to the ground in Minneapolis? Not a word. Police officers. I would ask police officers across the state of Georgia, is Warnock a champion for you? Is he? Of course not. It's a champion for the criminals, the perpetrators. Nah, not for him. Then we have somebody called Gina Griswold, who's the Colorado Secretary of State on the Morning Schmo Show. What does she have to say? Just listen. It's the same old book. They're not going to change. Are they fighting with each other? Yes, but they're fighting over how far to go, how to employ their tactics. They're still talking about Hitler and the Third Reich. They're still talking about January 6th. They don't have a single idea, none, on how to govern in a way that is effectively helpful to the average person. They don't have any idea what to do because they want more taxes. They want more regulations. They want the border open, which kills American jobs. Go ahead.
Well, I think there's a lot of concern. I have a lot of concern about Trump's continued danger to American democracy. Look, day one, first official act, one of the first official acts, he decided to pardon the January 6th insurrectionists.
There you go. So you see, he's a threat to democracy. Still, I don't know who this backbencher is, but she's there. They're all over the place. He's still a threat to democracy. The people who want to destroy the Supreme Court, the people who attack the Constitution relentlessly, and the people who wrote it, the people who seek to amend the Constitution constantly without amending the Constitution, the people who keep going to the Supreme Court and losing because of the crazy-ass ideas that they have, suddenly they're the defenders of the Constitution and the Republic. No, they're not. They hate them. They hate them. Democrat Party, they're not contributing anything to try and help people in this country. They're not contributing a thing, nothing. Obstruction, smear tactics, character assassination, going on the offense, lying about what Trump has done. You know, it's interesting. I went back and I looked. I didn't have time to pull them all up, but about a year ago this time, they were very concerned, the Democrats, that Biden might lose. And so Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and so-called moderate 15, but there were others, many others, kept talking about government by executive order. Remember that, Mr. Producer? I even brought it up once or twice. Government by executive order. They were all for it. And the guy who first really exploited this was Joe Biden himself in the first week of his past presidency, where he issued, what was it, 100, 120, 150 executive orders all over the place. Now, Donald Trump, when he first won in 2016, he didn't do that. But obviously, he's a counterpuncher, and he's there, and he's thinking, no question about it, if Biden can do it, I can do it. And if Biden will do it, I will do it. And other Democrats are upset about what they've unleashed. What they've unleashed. This is what they've unleashed. So they try to sabotage his appointees. They try and block his agenda. They're talking about taking to the streets. Then they get mad at him when he's doing executive orders. What's Trump supposed to do? Just resign and say, you know what, I won, but I'm out. Crazy. Crazy. Go ahead.
People who stormed the Capitol to try to steal the presidency from the American people.
Nobody stole it and nobody tried to steal it. This is the funny thing. I know the truth hurts. I really do. I know it hurts. And I take the slings and arrows all the time. I do, and I don't care. They were never going to overturn the election. It was impossible. It was impossible. Unless the Congress there had voted one way as opposed to the other. There was no way. This wasn't a legion of armed people. They didn't burn down the Capitol building. They didn't seize hundreds, if not thousands, of guns, Molotov cocktails. In other words, it wasn't the 2020 Democrat Party militia rioting throughout our streets. No, they didn't do any of that. I am no special pleader for those who attack cops. I've said it here over and over again, and I'm never going to be. Period. Donald Trump explained now several times the reason he had a blanket pardon, including for those people, was they already served enough time, several years, he said, and that's that. Particularly when you compare it to the violent individuals, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the 2020, and so forth and so on. So that's his conclusion. But let's not pretend that January 6th was going to overthrow our government. You know what's overthrowing the government? The Democrat Party by design. You don't have to have a quote-unquote violent revolution to overthrow a government. In fact, some of the more sinister and evil communist theoreticians over time, they said, don't do that. The American people won't go for it. Take it slow and easy over the decades. From the top down, not the bottom up. I've talked about Gramsci, the Italian communist, who had a very, very big impact on the American communists, a.k.a. the American Progressive Movement. That's right. Top down. Take over the bureaucracy. Take over the courts. Woodrow Wilson often contradicted himself about which branch of government they should take over and focus on first, but in the end, he decided it was the judiciary. Why? Because it's not answerable to the public. Why do you think the Democrats are going in court to try and stop Trump? Why do you think they use the bureaucracy to try to stop Trump? Why do you think Trump is trying to get some control over the bureaucracy? Not for ideological reasons. Trying to get some control over the bureaucracy so the bureaucracy will do the job it's supposed to do rather than try and sabotage him. He's been through it. He saw what they did to him. And now, of course, the Democrats are using their lifetime appointed radical Democrat trial judges to thwart Trump. That's what they're doing. Now they're complaining about executive orders. I'm one of the people who's not big on government by executive orders. Now what Trump is doing, hopefully, the next time a Democrat wins, God forbid, they'll understand there are consequences. There's consequences for what you're doing. You use the FBI against Trump. You use the FBI against a lot of people who you didn't agree with. We've never seen anything like it. And J. Edgar Hoover's long dead. You've all but destroyed the FBI, certainly at the senior and middle levels. And Trump says, okay, well, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with it. And of course, the other side, they have their media friends out there squawking about it. Oh, look at this. He's going after FBI people who went after him. By the way, like there's something wrong with that. It's incredible. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
The WMAL Free Speech Forum is back as we analyze Trump's first 100 days. Get a load of this. Join Larry, Chris, Vince, and more as they break it down live on stage at the Birchmere in Alexandria. It's party, party, party. Don't wait. These tickets will sell out fast. For details and to buy, visit WMAL.com. The WMAL Free Speech Forum, the first 100 days. Sunday, April 27th at the Birchmere from News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Baby should always sleep on the back in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of death. Sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here.
Being your favorite uncle comes with big responsibility.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nicehd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
We're the stronger than we look type.
I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2.
The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
No one knows music like Rolling Stone. Senior writer Brian Hyatt talks the biggest music news from the biggest stars.
Almost everyone is teaming up on Drake. It's like Drake versus the world. Yeah. You first met Prince, you were driving for him before you were drumming for him. That's correct.
You kind of have to understand how sleepy people white radio. That's where the money was. That's where it still is. You know what I'm saying?
Rolling Stone music now. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Green light. Hey girl, cool down. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
In today's digital age, where cyber threats loom larger than ever, safeguarding your personal information is paramount. So why is Congress considering a law that could put your credit card data at greater risk of being hacked and exposed to foreign networks? This Durbin-Marshall credit card bill could jeopardize your financial data, make it more susceptible to cyber intrusions. It's a controversial bill that proposes a shift in billions of dollars worth of consumer transactions to payment networks that lack the robust security measures consumers rely on. Who could possibly want that? Well, the answer, woke corporate megastores seeking to inflate their multi-billion-dollar profit margins. The Durbin-Marshall credit card bill will undermine our safe and convenient payment systems and endanger your data security. It's time to take a stand. Visit electronicpaymentscoalition.org. Make your voice heard. Tell your senators to oppose the radical Durbin-Marshall credit card bill, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Making sense of your world.
Covering this topic. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news. Chris Plant, weekdays 9 to noon.
On News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
This is from CBS News Philadelphia. Emergency crews are responding to an explosion in northeast Philadelphia after a small plane crashed in the area of Roosevelt Boulevard and Cottman Avenue. Roosevelt Boulevard and Cottman Avenue, I know exactly where that is. I've been growing up in Cheltenham, which is right on the border with northeastern Philadelphia, the Northeast as we call it. In fact, my grandmother for decades lived on Strail Street, right off Roosevelt Boulevard, as did many of her siblings. That is a very heavily populated area. 2 people were aboard the plane, according to police. There are other injuries reported on the ground. Multiple homes were on fire in the area of Cotman Avenue, Roosevelt Boulevard, following the crash. Fire officials said, crazy. Crazy. It's unclear at this time what led to the crash. Of course, it's unclear at this time. There is a big mall there, at least there was when I was a kid. Maybe they knocked it down and built something else. I don't know, but they say that the aircraft reportedly hit the mall. So that's all we know. That is a massive explosion. You see that on TV, Mr. Producer? Massive. And that is right in the middle of a neighborhood. That I know. And they have row homes. A lot of row homes in this part of Philadelphia, a lot of Philadelphia, period, where really is where the beginning of the row home really existed, and there's many of them. And I know exactly where this is, and that is unbelievable. Apparently, it hit a mall there. One has nothing to do with the other. That is Potomac, and I'm not saying it does, but they better put that fire out. That neighborhood's going to catch on fire. No question about that. One of my favorite traditions every year is to see, what Hillsdale College is going to do, because they have 1,000 ideas on how to promote the Republic, the Constitution, and liberty. And this year, I encourage you to embrace what they're offering you. More than 40 free online courses. This is why I call Hillsdale College the shining college on the hill. A takeoff on Ronald Reagan's about the shining city on the hill, obviously. And you'll learn about all these great philosophers and writers who've had a great impact on your lives, and you may not know it. Or the course on the Constitution. Nobody teaches the Constitution better than Hillsdale. Well, maybe me, but you know what I mean. You've heard people talk about the rise and fall of the Roman Republic. Why does that matter? It matters a lot. There's a lot to be learned from it. By the way, you ought to check out Cicero whenever you can, and they teach that too. And of course, the Genesis story is what drew my attention right out of the Bible. They have a course on this because it's crucially important. It's crucially important. People of the Jewish and the Christian faith, crucially important. You learn a lot about man's relationship to God, the complex relationship, and the consequences of the rupture of that relationship, not to God, but to mankind, obviously. So start your course. Maybe it's the Genesis course, the Constitution course, whatever it is, at Hillsdale College for free. Absolutely fantastic place. Go right now to levinforhillsdale.com. Now, you see this whole neighborhood, Mr. Producer? This thing is spreading. Go right now to levinforhillsdale.com. That's LEVIN for Hillsdale.com to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. And that's levinforhillsdale.com, LEVIN for Hillsdale.com. Yeah. Philadelphia Police Department and Fire Department are great departments. Great departments. And much like New York and the other cities, they've been under attack by the radical left-wing kooks who run these cities. But the men and women of the Police and Fire Department of Philadelphia, like NYPD and the FDNY, and whether it's Los Angeles or Chicago, wherever it is, these are fantastic people. Again, the first responders are there. Again, they're the first ones on the ground trying to contain what could be a fairly significant situation, but I think they'll be able to contain it. That's just me. I'm just observing, but I think they should be able to. I've never heard of something went wrong with that plane, obviously. And the Cotman Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard, everybody in and around Philadelphia know exactly what I'm talking about. Those are main thoroughfares. Those are big, big roads. When I grew up in Cheltenham, I used to take my bike and ride from Cotman Avenue. I couldn't get all the way to Roosevelt Boulevard, but go into the Northeast. It was a wonderful, wonderful childhood. Wonderful, wonderful parents. I'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
You're doing a fantastic job. Stop 105.9 WMAL. You guys all about it.
Making sense of the news.
No one knows music like Rolling Stone. Senior writer Brian Hyatt talks the biggest music news from the biggest stars.
That just shows you that I live in Randy's head. What's the matter, Randy? I didn't ban you or anything, Randy. I was right in the middle of doing something. You're a backstabbing motherfucker, Randy. Fat fucker. Fucking lot boy, tire washer. That's all you are, is a fucking glorified tire washer. Living the easy life.
Professional cab driver. Sorry, professional cab driver. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours,
Randy, I know my mother's dead. Is that supposed to make me mad when you do that? Is it supposed to make me mad when I go into Vegas and Logical spams the chat? I'm sure a lot of people have him blocked. They're not going to sit there and watch that shit. They're going to block it and say, it's a chat. He doesn't chat except for he's fucking emailing somebody. Bottom line is Ginger went to JC's chat and cried to JC because nobody in the chat likes Logical. Nobody likes him. Fucking crybaby. Come back, Randy. I didn't ban you.
All became household names.
I don't care what you do on the computer, Randy. I'm still better at it than you are. I don't need to make avatars and all that shit. You guys think you're an artist out here. You're fucktards.
Blood sugar in check. Have a big impact on your mood. Be intentional as well about your exercise and your sleep. If you're still not feeling quite right, talk to your doctor about this sooner.
JC, you're gonna miss me.
Weight loss isn't full transformation.
I'm gonna pick my times. You'll be live, and I won't be listening to Mark Levin, and I'll go live, and I'll fucking read your chat and sit here and post. Mind you, what a fucking idiot you are, JC. Because you are a fucking idiot, JC. It's people like you that fucking make me mad. You're the problem in our culture, JC.
Following Wednesday's deadly crash near Reagan National.
Yeah, you are.
Have recovered 41 sets of remains, and 28 of those victims have been positively identified.
Now, Mina won't go in your chat because certain people, I guess, I don't know what the deal is there. I'm assuming she's on Gotti's side.
He says they're bringing in more salvage equipment tomorrow to take pieces of the aircraft out of the water so they can.
Bunch of fucking romper room motherfuckers.
When it comes to the weather,
slow it down.
Philo mental case. Trying to label me as bipolar. I don't know if she's kidding or if she's serious. I don't know. I don't think. I think if she didn't like me, she probably would block me. But no, she doesn't. She argued Kuba Khan, fucking goofy fuck, Paul Renfrey. I should have been on the Benny Hill show.
Report on the crash from the NTSB is expected in Tonight, he told reporters in the Oval Office that the European Union is next on the list.
Randall, what's your problem? Not at JC's. I go into Vegas and Logical's always trying to spam me out of the chat. The use of my mother's picture is not helping you guys. It's a fucking dead end for you.
is treated us so terribly. The tariff starting tomorrow will be 25% on goods coming to the U.S. from Canada and Mexico, and 10% coming from China. The Trump administration, meanwhile, weighing a move to stop New York City's new congestion pricing program.
Multiple reports say that the Department of Transportation is considering pulling a key federal authorization for congestion pricing that New York City received last year from the Biden
Randy's not being a dick.
President Trump and New York spoken twice this week discussing issues including
Nah, he's not a
congestion
dick.
pricing, according to reports, and have agreed to talk
He's a
soon.
touch hole.
The program charges most vehicles a $9 fee to injuries on Manhattan.
He's a fucking spoiled brat.
Street and went into effect on January 5th. New York City's is the first such program.
All he
in the
has
US.
is
There are
JC.
other cities that have put them in place
Monica.
include London, Stockholm, and Singapore.
How about you, Matt? Can you tell me these people that I hired to go after Monica? And Monica claimed to Whippermano that I recruited some people to troll her. The only one cloning her is that fucking idiot Blabbering Bibba. You'd think she'd just ignore her, go about her fucking way, but that ain't gonna happen. They'll implode over there at JT's chat. I won't go in there ever again. Right, we're a bunch of hypocrites. Right? I don't like liars, and he's being serious. Says he doesn't like liars because some people have lied to him, and he believed them, and and then they laugh. Well, your woman lied to me, Mina. They came to my chat. They were brought here by Gotti. I was invited to Range chat when she first started streaming. All of a sudden, out of the blue, she just made the comment that her parents are dead. Because I hadn't asked. I didn't ask her about her parents. Not yet. So she lied. Her parents aren't dead. So she did that for my ears. And you guys notice that she's not really calling anybody else bipolar. It's Mina doesn't block me. Of all the shit that gets said, she's not blocking me. Rusty blocks me. That's because I can out-type her in the chat. I can out-type JC too. Logico needs his spots. That's the only weapon he has against me. And Randy's just a fucking idiot. Nothing but a big fucking blowhard. Doesn't understand why he can't get a woman. What a dumb fuck. It's very simple. All you gotta do is be nice to him. Didn't want to spend any money on Angie. Did you? Thought Angie was after your money, didn't you, Randy? And then a little trip to Shannon. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking there. You gonna go take care of an invalid? Because that's pretty much what she is. Yeah. Barack.
That plane didn't look like it fell out of the sky. It looked like it slammed right into that mall on a Friday evening.
Wow.
As I've explained, it's a highly populated area, row home after row home.
So a plane crash.
That intersection, Common Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard, are two of the busiest intersections in the city of Philadelphia. Now, this is outer Philadelphia. It's the Northeast, but it doesn't matter. It's a massive explosion.
Wow. I'll have to check it out.
Looked like a big plane. It's hard to tell. I'm not saying it's a missile, but it sure hit right into that building, didn't it? Didn't it, Rich? Very fast. It just didn't look like it was falling out of the sky. You know, the horrendous thing we saw the other night over the Potomac. It didn't look like that. Maybe there was some kind of air collision. Maybe not. Maybe the lost complete control of the plane. Maybe the guy had a heart attack. I don't know. But that thing, there it is. Boom! It's almost like an asteroid or something. Asteroid, not that big, but it looks like or that it, something of that sort. Boom! That you see on the. Well, you see missiles, you see on TV and so forth, but it was amazing. Now they're trying to put these fires out. They don't want a massive gas line explosion. Sure, they're probably moving people out of their homes. I'm guessing this would be typical protocol, but I don't know. If you did, in fact, have a direct hit on that mall, there's got to be casualties. There's no way that there wouldn't be. There's no way there wouldn't be a lot of people there. Excuse me, a little cold. That there wouldn't be a lot of people there Friday night. So I'm wondering what the hell happened here. It's very strange. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep watching what's taking place here. There's like cops and firefighters everywhere, as you can imagine. In fact, just so you know, again, I'll give you a little bit of background. Many of the people who work in the Philadelphia police force and fire department live in Northeast Philadelphia. They live in other parts, obviously, as well, but many of them live in Northeast Philadelphia. And I don't know what else to say right now. We don't know anything.
Yeah.
But I haven't really seen anything like that. A plane direct hit into a mall, massive. That was a massive explosion. I guess the National Transportation Safety Board's gonna have to look at this one too. Obviously, I know it goes through my mind, and I know it goes through your mind too, but I'm not going to voice it because I don't have the foggiest idea. Maybe it's just the worst of luck, bad luck, that a plane hits a mall like that on a Friday night. I don't know. I just don't know. But if you're looking to do maximum damage, I think you would hit a mall on a Friday night, would you not, Rich? And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just telling you, I'm thinking what you're thinking about the various possibilities. No, I'm not being irresponsible. I'm just voicing what's in my mind. I have no conclusion. I have no way of knowing any of it. But we watch it. Just as we watched what took place over the Potomac, which was so horrendous. And I told you the other night, I said to my wife, the helicopter hit the plane. Flew right into the plane.
Yep. Fire players just pulled in my driveway. So I have company. So I gotta go.
Wrong. Here.
Hey Ted, but I gotta go. I got company.
To me.